like a dog at the shrine of your life. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death, the good God. Let me give you my life. Take me to church.
Hello everyone, it's me. I hope y'all's weekend was good. I'm just now getting to record this. I know I told y'all I would have had this uploaded yesterday, but I went out of town the other day to see my cousin perform at this thing, and then kind of catch up with family and everything. I haven't seen them in a while. My entire family, they're out of state. They're out in North Carolina. So every now and then, mainly for like holidays and stuff, I'll take like the little 4 hour. It's technically a 4 hour drive. I make it a 3 hour drive. And but I'm back now. I'm gonna hit the ground running. So today I'm gonna try something a little different. I mean, it won't really affect the video that much, but I'm gonna record this video how I do, and then I'm gonna upload it as a podcast because I see I have the option. Now, I don't know what the difference is, but you know what? We're going to find out. We're always experimenting and testing. I mean, I think that's the way that life works anyway. You're just experimenting until you find your own personal Krabby Patty secret formula. And then, you just keep making it. Once you find out the formula, you just keep making it until you die, I guess. So, yeah, all that's out the way. Let's talk about fear. Fear. Can't even get into what is fear, because fear is so many things. I mean, essentially, fear is supposed to keep us alive. When you're beforehand, thousands of years ago, when you're walking in the jungle and you see a tiger, you're supposed to fear the tiger because your life could be taken from you. And your job is to make it back to your tribe and everything. That's what fear essentially is. But in this current day and age where we all have media, where we all have TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, and we're exposed to so many ideas, and it's at times kind of hard to tell what's real and what's fake. And there's a lot of bias, there's a lot of propaganda, there's a lot of things being thrown at us to where we are often stuck in a state of fear when there's nothing to fear at all. I'm going to take it back to my life because I can tell y'all I spent a significant amount of my life afraid of everything. I was a very scared child. I was scared of getting in trouble. I was scared of demons, because I grew up in a small private Christian school. And, in my upbringing, different classes. I mean, we had Bible class, but even if say for PE, it was raining outside, okay, well, we can't go outside and play, so let's watch some educational Christian videos. And the educational Christian videos are like, oh, look at Beyonce's new video, or Rihanna's new video. Look at Jay-Z's new video. If you pause it right here, you can see these numbers. And if you pause it right here, you can see this shape. And this is a pentagram. And this is the 33rd Masonic temple. And this is the Baphomet skull, And every day I was just being introduced and reintroduced to fear. Here's a demon caught on camera. Here's an angel caught on camera. And then if it wasn't preaching about demons and stuff, it was teaching about oh, don't do this, you'll get in trouble. Don't do drugs, good things, but still don't do drugs, don't steal, don't do this. Because they will often preach about, heaven and hell. And they're like, if you curse, you're going to hell. If you do this, you're going to hell. Do it once, you're going to hell. Sex before marriage, hell. So I was just being taught to fear everything. And I think that's how a lot of Christians are kind of brought up, to fear. When I was also younger, my local amusement park, Carowinds, every year around Halloween, they would have a they would turn the amusement park into like a, you know how it goes. Amusement parks, they turn into like scare parks. You know, like Universal, they turn it into like the haunted place. And so my mom, she tried to take us one time, and I remember telling my friends about it, that I was going, and they're all like, yeah, you know, it's really scary. There's a lot of things that happen, but if you tell the people to stop, they have to stop, you know, no matter what. And I'm like, okay. So we go to the thing, and we make it, there's an entrance area, like where you get into the gate, and there's like a small amount of shops and stuff, and then there's a tiny little bridge, and then once you cross that bridge, you are in Scarewinds. So we enter, and we're in the little well-lit shopping area, and there's a few costume people walking around, and there's this one like 7 feet tall monster thingy. He starts walking towards me. I see him, I'm like, okay, and he starts walking towards me. I start walking away, and he starts chasing me, and I'm telling him to stop. I'm like, stop, but he's not stopping. Instantly there, I lost all my power. The one thing that I had going into this place, stop. It didn't work instantly. And we're at the entrance. I'm like, stop. Eventually he stops. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm telling Mom, like, I don't know if I can do this. She's like, nah, come on. It'll be fun. We're walking towards the bridge. We're crossing the bridge. And there's a path to the right that's pitch black. And then there's a path to the left that's pitch black. And all I'm hearing are screams and, you know, chainsaws and, you know, those people that be sliding on their knees, or, you know. And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. Nope, can't do this. Nope. My mom's like, no, yeah, come on. I don't remember how old I was, but I was way too old to do what I, you know, did to get out of there. So I'm like, nope, I can't do this. It's like, come on. And then, you know, my younger siblings are there with me too. And like my mom's friend and her kids, I'm like, nope, can't do this. And then in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, nah, she's really not buying it. Like she's like, we need to go. So I do the only thing I can think of. I start like jumping and stomping my feet. I'm like, no, I wanna go. And you know, that got us to leave. I ruined everyone's night. And just went back to my normal life of going back to school and being shown all these scary videos about demons and being possessed and how the Illuminati was going to kill you and take over the world. It was just fear all day, every day. I was just being exposed to fear with no solution. That's the worst part. I was being like, they would tell us like all this stuff, and we have chapel, and they're telling us like Tupac and Biggie, and Tupac had this album called Illuminati, and Kanye released a song called Monsters, and this is this, and this is this, and this is this. And it's like, I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? I'm just scared all the time. I'm in the bathroom, I'm taking a shower, and I'm imagining demons in the mirror. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get through this? And so I only went to that school up to 11th grade. After that, I went to public school. And I only did that because in 11th grade, I went to art school. For a summer, I attended the college I ended up going to. But I attended the college for a summer, and I was exposed to so many things. I was like, there's no way I'm going back to that little that little private school. So they put me in public school. Either way, around that time, like 11th grade, at that point, I began questioning everything. I mean, I was really big on his history documentaries and everything. And there was one I watched that tied Hitler to Obama. And it made a really compelling argument. I mean, it was talking about like, it was connecting this guy to this guy to this guy to this guy to this guy, real people. And it was like, they were like, looking back, they're kind of stretching it. But in real life, those people did actually have associations and knew each other and everything. And I just remember after watching that, maybe in like 9th grade or something, I was like, I just stopped it. And I'm just asking my dad, I'm like, what's the point? Like, what's the point? Like, I remember thinking that. I'm like, what's the point? If this group of people, if this Illuminati, these Masons or whatever, if in the year 1312, they thought of all the plans for the future, and they designed everything. They took the money. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen it before, but if you take like a $5 bill, I don't even know if it still works, but if you take a $5 bill and a $20 bill and a $100 bill and you fold it a certain way, it shows the Twin Towers like going down, you know. Like, there's not one conspiracy theory I don't know, because I was raised on all of them. And I was asking, I was like, why? What's the point? Like, if they have all these plans to conquer the world and to do this and to cause this terror attack on this day, what is the point of us even trying? What is the point of being educated? You know? Because to me, it felt like someone saying, yo, I'm going to punch you in the face at 3 o'clock. I'm going to punch you in the face at 3 o'clock. But at 3 o'clock, I'm also going to like chain you down to a wall so you can't move and you're going to have to take the punch. So I'm asking, why are you even telling me that you're going to do that? What's the point? Just do it. And that's when something clicked in me. Like, just do it. Why are you telling me just do it? Why are you telling me just do it? And so I began getting kind of angry. And I would go to school and I became that kid. I was asking why all the time. The teachers would say, see, right here in Rihanna's video, you can see this is the outline of Baphomet. And I'm like, why? What do you mean why? I'm like, why? Why would she do that? She's not even the one making these videos. Like, she's just the singer. Why would the video programmer do this? Why would he go through all that effort? Why would he do that? Why? That was my catchphrase all the time. Why? And I started singing very quickly. I was getting shut down. Because for whatever reason, I'm not calling these teachers and everything evil, but for whatever reason, they spent their entire life being indoctrinated into fear, and that was all they knew. And so that's what they were doing. They were teaching the same fear that they had in them, and they just wanted to be this giant collection of fear. And I guess the idea was that, oh, well, we're afraid, but Jesus will save us. But me, I'm just like, several times in this Bible that we're reading, Jesus and God is talking about have no fear. I mean, there's a whole thing talking about, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for God is with me. So what is this thing? Why are we so obsessed with fear? And I began like going on tangents, man. I would, like, anytime I had the chance to preach this, I would. And of course, it would get me thrown to the principal's office. And that's when I developed the relationship with my principal. You know, he was a very wise man. And it was almost as if he knew that this school was kind of just a bunch of buffoons. But what I kind of picked up from him was that because he would do this thing, like I would talk the same way I'm talking now. I would throw a bunch of words at him, and then he would kind of sit back and he would just stroke his chin and he would just think. Like, I'm used to like talk response, but I would talk and he would pause and he would think for like a good 2 minutes. He would just think, and then he would come back and say, well, boom, and he would hit me with something. And one of the things he hit me with is just like, people are the way they are. Some people are, he didn't say it verbatim, but I'm just going to paraphrase to what I picked up from it. But some people are not as wise. They're not super intellectual. They're not deep thinkers. They only know what they know. You know, some people take things at surface level and their only ability is to repeat that. And that idea that's been placed before them, they don't have the facilities to change that or challenge that. So oftentimes it's not really your job or responsibility to change that in people. Just sometimes see people and understand where they're at, and understand that you can't really do much and just move past it, because all you're really doing is just upsetting a bunch of people. And that's when I kind of learned at a younger age that like me being smart and everything doesn't mean I have to trample on everyone's ideas, even though they may be wrong and stuff like that. But I didn't quite fully accept it at that time, because I was very much in this wave of like, I'm awake. I realize now, I get it all. But, you know, that wasn't where those people were at. And unfortunately, I think it's just a human trait to be trapped in fear, because it's not even a Christian thing. Everyone fears. And the thing is, people fear what they don't understand. Christian people don't listen to secular music. So they don't understand the beauty that comes into it. They don't understand the artistry that comes into singing about topics about depression and loss and grief. They only know praise, singing to Jesus. They don't understand that anything can be out of that. So you have two people on opposite ends that can't understand each other. And that goes for every religion. That goes for every group of people. You have old people afraid of smartphones, old people afraid of TikTok because they don't understand it. And every generation before them came the same way. Their parents didn't understand TV. Their parents didn't understand radio. Their parents didn't understand, how these vehicles are being made and when we ride horses. Everyone is stuck in a position in life to where they only know what they know. You can inform people, but if they don't pick up on what you're putting down, you have to move on. So I'm saying all that to say, I believe fear can be conquered by questioning things. You have to ask why. You think about ghosts, you think about paranormal activities, think about those movies, right? Think about the concept of like being in a haunted house and then the lights flickering on and off. Think about that. Think about how silly that is. It's scary. What? I'm not flicking the lights. Who's doing that? It's this entity that has all the power in the world to fly through walls, to fly around in the air. You die in this house, right? And you're a spirit, you're a ghost. You have the ability to fly to Brazil and see stuff, or fly to Russia and see the mountains, and fly to China, and fly to Egypt. You can do all this, but you're sitting in this rusty, dusty, molded house, flickering a light switch. You're goofy. Ghosts are silly. When you start looking at the key to fear is to take what you're afraid of and break it down to its essentials. Break it down to its bare essentials. Why am I afraid of this? And that's what I did when I was afraid of like demons and stuff like that. Seeing them, I'm like, why am I afraid of this? Am I afraid I'm going to get stabbed? Am I afraid I'm going to get kidnapped? And the more you question it, you're like, I'm afraid of the idea of it. That's silly. I'm moving past it. And it got so much so where I went back to Scarewinds. I went back to Scarewinds as a, 16-year-old maybe. And I went there and I had a good time. And not only did I have a good time, I went there with an objective. I went in all the things that I saw, I looked them in the eye. And I'm understanding, okay, these are actors in costumes. But even like the dark alleys, I'm walking down the dark alleys. I'm like, these people, they're here to cause fright, but they're not going to grab me. They're not going to touch me. That chainsaw, this is a park where kids are coming to. That guy with the chainsaw, he can't, that's not a real chainsaw. And it's in a dark place. Like, what if he's carrying around and hits someone? It's not a real chainsaw. He doesn't have the ability to hurt people. And I'm breaking that down. I'm going through all the things. And yeah, you can think of it as like, oh, I'm ruining the fun. But like, no, I'm really taking the fear that I'm supposed to have and I'm breaking it down and I'm making it digestible. We fear things because we're looking at them through this big giant thing instead of breaking down the structure and just looking at it and taking it for what it is. That's how all of this works. Whenever you see news topics, whenever you see something that comes out, I remember when COVID came out and people were talking about like, oh, next week they're going to call in the army and we're going into martial law and no one's going to be able to leave their house. And you got to ask, like, why? Why would these things happen? Sometimes you'll get an answer that's like, oh, this makes sense because blah, blah, blah. Or sometimes you're like, no, this is unverified information from a person creating content on TikTok. Why would they do this? Think about those scams. It's not really fear, but like, think about those guys that's like, I make $100 million a day and I'm going to give you a course on how you can make $100 million a day. Why would a person making $100 million a day have a course? And why are there so many of them? How are these people making $100 million if they're just giving away the secrets? And why isn't everyone making $100 million if that's the case? Because it's fake. Everything is fake. Fear is fake. The only thing to fear is fear itself. We're so caught up in the idea of fear. You think about things like the fear of heights. Why are you afraid of heights? Technically, everyone should be afraid of heights. No one is surviving a fall from the top of the Empire State Building. So why are you standing on a 5-foot surface talking about my knees are shaking? I'm afraid of what? Of falling and bruising your arm? What are you afraid of? Seeing a picture of a spider? I have arachnophobia. From a picture, A picture, what's the picture gonna do to you? And even if a spider was here, like, okay, how realistic is it that you're just gonna be around the world's most poisonous spider? Think about it. How often? Think about the last 3 years. How many spiders, given that you don't live in a whatever, but how many spiders have you seen? Fear. We gotta break down what fear is. You gotta break it down. And I have like a little story to tell of why when people ask me like, what am I afraid of? I tell them nothing because of this, because of my upbringing for myself and how I began to question things. I don't fear anything. But we also have this thing where we fear the future. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where you fear, you have anxiety, you have like the bubble guts because you're afraid, you're worried about a test tomorrow. You're worried about, this girl you're going to talk to. You're worried about this job you're trying to get. You're worried about a week from now. You're worried about a month from now. How am I going to pay rent next month? How am I going to do this? Oh, what if I do this? How do I miss this? Fear of the unknown is not good, healthy fear because there's nothing you can do about it. You can prepare as much as you want, but they say man plans, God laughs. That's real. I'm telling y'all this. Fear of things that you can control or you can like avoid or whatever, that's one thing. Like, I don't think anyone needs to be afraid of ghosts. I don't think anyone needs to be afraid of pictures of spiders or pictures of holes. But the one fear that kind of holds everyone together is this crippling fear of the future and what it might bring. And a few years ago, I had a very intense dream. I always have intense dreams. And growing up in school, people or the preachers and special whoever would say that, I was like a prophet or something. But I had this one dream, and I'm going to show y'all the picture, where I was in my dorm or my college apartment, and out my window, I could see the bridge and I could see the sky. Like if I'm laying down, I could just look up at the window and I could see the whole sky. And I'm dreaming, but I'm not aware that I'm dreaming. And I just remember laying there, and it was like the sky turned like this bloody orange. It was like this orangish reddish color. And then these loud, like, I wouldn't even call it trumpets, because I wasn't like, oh no, the rapture's happening. It was like these loud, like undescribably loud trumpet / bass sound, like loud. And it was so loud that I was frozen in fear because of how loud this is, and I don't understand where it's coming from. Because immediately hearing the sound, I'm thinking, oh, my roommate's playing music. But I'm like, no, this is too loud. This is coming from outside. Why is the sky like this? And I look up at the sky and I see these eyes. And it's these eyes that are like crudely pasted onto the sky. It looks like very poorly photoshopped. But in that moment, it was like I understood that, like, it was like unspoken, but I understood that was like God like looking at me. And in that moment, the amount of fear that I felt was more than I've ever felt in my life. And I feel like it's more fear than I would ever feel in the rest of my life. And so, I woke up in a hot sweat or cold sweat or however the saying goes. And one of the things, or the thing that I took away from that is like, there is nothing in life that could possibly cause that much fear. It doesn't matter what it is. Either I'm going to die or I'm not going to die. Someone holding a gun to my head, there's no need in me crying and sniffling. If they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me. Crying's not going to stop it. But if they're not, I'm Gucci. They're going to walk away. They're going to do whatever. So when I had that job, when I was working in the hood or whatever and going through those dangerous environments, I walked around with the understanding that if I die, I will die. But I don't think I will. So nothing is going to harm me. There's nothing to fear. And I walk like that through everything. People ask, oh, how are you going to do this? Or how are you going to do that? Wait, you're just going to walk in there? Wait, you're just going to talk to them? Because that's my view on life now. Nothing can scare me. Do I still get a little bit shooken up about things? Do I still get like that initial, oh no, my such and such bill is due next Friday? Yeah. But ultimately, I move past it and I say, everything's taken care of. The only thing to fear is fear itself. I'm not going to allow fear to immobilize me and stop me from reaching the future. So, all of that to say, I hope you guys take a good hard look at what you're afraid of. And I hope you take the time to understand it. That's the only way you can conquer your fears, is to look it in the face and understand that it can't harm you. Most time it can't harm, like just the fear of little things, man. The fear of heights, the fear of driving on the interstate. That fear is what will get you killed. Thinking about falling, looking over the edge, and that's when you fall off. Thinking about crashing, that's when you crash. But when you do things with confidence, when you move through life with confidence, that is how you overcome. That is how you make it through. So, say all that to say, guys, let's work on not being so afraid of everything. Let's work on not being so afraid of everything. Even in things like Overwatch. Even being scared. I mean, you're playing a video game where you can respawn. Hold on. You can respawn. I want to say this again. You can respawn. It's a video game. You can respawn. So why are you playing scared? Why are you, the point is 100 feet away from you, and you're staying back around the corner because you're scared that if you walk around the corner, you're going to die. Why? Yeah, you might die and you'll respawn and come back. So why are y'all playing like, oh no, I can't do anything, because stop playing so scared. That's the key. Y'all want to know the key? Like, oh, how's he always W keying? Because I know I'm going to do this, and if I get punished for it, I'm going to get punished, and then I'll do something else. But if not, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I could try this, but I don't know if it'll. No. Stop being so scared of everything. Scared people are the worst people. And you definitely don't want to be 35, 36, 37, you know what I mean, going through life being one of those people, and then someone like me come around in my 20s talking about you're still scared of that. Like, you don't want to be that, So, yeah, less fear.
I see it creeping, or what else you need to know. Truancy was when I left, when I was needed most. Gold loose, I learned to see the ropes. I need a spot where I can see the coast. Nah, I weed a lot, I keep my demons close. Nah, I pre-deploy, you never see me ghost.
You see me ghost. And 4 years later, know I got better. Praise to my God and armor all metal. Iron sword, know my spirit's gon' get on her. I know my pops guilty cause he left him. I wore his blessings, honorary cloak. And sacred Yoruba is what he spoke. I pray I'll say goodbye, but no I won't. I bet cause if he lived, he'd be a vegetable. Know we next to go, had to show love. We had grown apart, can't dwell on what it was. Singing from my heart, pull on my ears a dove.
Nah, true indeed, you never see the scope. Every which way the weeds you go. Really nothing niggas ain't seen before. True indeed. True indeed. True indeed. I see it creeping, or what else you need to know. Truancy was when I left, when I was needed most. Gold loose, I learned to see the ropes. I need a spot where I can see the coast. Nah, I weed a lot, I keep my demons close. Nah, I pre-deploy, you never see me ghost.
You see me ghost.